Greetings, royal queens and kings. It's your host, Queen Tulsa, and welcome back to the Queen Tulsa Show. Today, we're going to have a discussion on a heavy topic that's really um, affecting me and my other sisters in the trans community as far as the LGBTQIA plus community. All of us are being affected, and I had the pleasure and the honor of being able to sit down with two young ladies that are prominent in this industry and in the community. Well, with that being said, I thought that it was a space for us to, as trans women, come out, share our stories, share our experiences. And we were talking about the current administration. And some way, somehow, um, the energy shifted. It became very hostile, very hostile. I want to say when someone comes to your panel or to your channel and you have a live discussion like this, and I open up the link, which I have not dropped a link, but when you open up a link and you say, if you have something to say, definitely come up, sound off about it. And I don't think that you need to eliminate someone's voice and them telling their story or their experience about a particular incident when it comes to this particular administration. As we all know, this particular administration has got a lot of people feeling a certain type of way, feeling the regret, feeling like they want to retract um, things of that nature. I'm not here to tear anybody down. I'm just here to have a voice just like you. I'm human just like you. My heart beats just like yours. When I get dressed in the morning, when we put on our pants, I use one leg just like you. So I want us to really come here and just have a discussion and not really an argument. And if we say that it's going to be a safe space, this is going to be somewhere where you can come and you can feel comfortable and relaxed. I think that we need to um, expand or maybe, give a disclaimer when others are out here networking and want to be a part of the conversation. So this particular live, I'm not really sure if I'll drop a link maybe later in the broadcast, but I would like to um, step straight in on some points because I have been thinking about this and I wanted this to come off as an educational, not as far as, who got the last word or um, who wants to be in charge. So this is just from my observation. I have to do homework, and that's what I'm learning through therapy is really thinking things through, processing them, So shout out to all the ladies that were involved. Now, I want to know this. My first question will be, are we all sisters in the struggle if we live in the same city? So if you and I stay in the same city, we're women of color, we're out here um, facing life's challenges, um, out here enduring and persevering through life. And there are so many challenges that are happening, but we're still pushing through, So my question is, are we all sisters in the struggle if we live in the same city? Whether you stay over here in the projects, whether you stay over here in the suburbs, or you're, middle class over here, or you're just high class out there, are we all sisters, or does your struggle, one struggle in a community doesn't really affect you like that? And the reason why I say that is some areas you will have more resources, you have more resources. In some areas, you don't have an abortion clinic on the corner, But are we all sisters living in the same city? And do our struggles make us any different? Do we have more in common than we have not in common? When you're out here speaking in your city, in your community, who are you speaking for? Are you just speaking for yourself, or are you speaking to others? Speaking for others and speaking up for others that are voiceless, that can't speak. So when we say we're advocates out here and we say that, I'm not your sister, make that make sense for me. Make it make sense for me. My next point, and you guys can follow through with me as we continue to go on through the broadcast. But my next point is going to be no, I got to take this back. And I'm going to take a deep breath because what you guys are experiencing right now is, you know, how you prepare for something, you say, you know what, I'm not going to go outside of what my curriculum was. And I think that I've done that and I have to hold myself accountable. So let me take a deep breath. What I want to know to my sisters are we only sisters if we live in the same city? If I stay here, I'm advocating, I'm saying, hey, I'm in Oklahoma. You're in New York. You're in California. You're in, let's say you're in, what is it, Utah. Are we not sisters? Do we not have the same struggle? And my thing is, I think talking, and that's why college is so important because you get to meet different people, you get to know what different struggles are. And I feel like we're all asking for the same thing. I feel like we're all asking for the same thing. And whether if you, like I said, even if we stayed in the same city or not, are we not all in the struggle? You know, or is it we're in the struggle if we live in the same city? You know, do I have to be in your city for you to pat me on my back? Do I have to be in your city for you to say, hey, sister, let me take a deeper listen to your frustrations and see what I can do? And I'm just being vulnerable, y'all. I don't know how to even approach it. I'm doing the best I can. But this is some stuff that, I just have to write down, put in my notes. Because as I'm meditating, I want to be able to have a solution. I want to be able to move forward. I don't want to offend anybody's beliefs or anything like that. I'm just saying, can we all be a part of the conversation? Do we have to live in the same city to, have that same struggle? Um, when it comes to this, it's kind of like ballroom. Like I know, like in ballroom, they would have like houses. You have the house dad, the house mom, and things like that, right? But and it would just be like a family, and whatever knowledge was in that family. If you had up and coming girls, or if you had older girls, they would pass the knowledge down to the younger ones. Um, But now we have gender affirming clinics where you can go and get your hormones, and they have, like, times have definitely changed so much. But my thing is, are we all sisters in the struggle only if we go to the same trans affirming doctors? Because in this community, the girls, they go off of, body, they go off of face, they go off of teeth, they go off of, like, there's just this trans look that some people kind of look forward to when they hear trans. They're like, oh, okay, well, they're looking for the big breast, the big butt, the 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 surgeries that make them whole, because some girls, they do get the surgeries, and there's no shade to them. But I do find that when some girls do get the surgery, it feels like their chin is a little bit higher. As a pre-op, chin was high, but now it's like to the roof. Um, if anybody knows any girl that had the SRS, sometimes their head be to the roof, because they don't have to tuck or anything like that. And I don't think that takes away from somebody that is pre-op, because yeah, post-op, transsexuals out here. Um, but even doing that, like, we're all on a journey through you know, the trans affirming doctors and stuff like that. Like, when you're going through your transition, like, when you first start out, of course, it's just like, you know, you're a beginner. You got to let the moans work. They'll show up and things like that. Like, I think some of the people that look at trans women, they look at the ones that have been through the transit, like the steps in the transition, and then boom, here they are. And what they fail to realize is it was a process over that, right? So that goes with, the girls not feeling that you're real, you know. They're, like I said, some of them, they could be very, very, very catty. I mean, the girls that I'm going to be bringing up here shortly, they called me Blondie. My name is Queen Tulsa, but they called me Blondie, and all three of us had blonde hair. So catty behavior in the community. I also wanted to discuss, are we all sisters in the struggle only if we attend the same college? What's so different from your college than it is mine? Do I have to go to your college? Like, we all are out here to get an education. We get our education, but does that mean that we look down on our sisters because, oh, I went to this prestige college? College is college. You made the steps to get up and better yourself. You made the opportunity. You made the decision to say, hey, I want something different for myself. So I feel like that's not a read. Um, but don't try to make someone else feel less because they hadn't accomplished, what you did. It's like a aha moment, or got you, or I'm smarter than you, but like I said, it could just really, really, really be catty. But I want to know, are we all sisters in the struggle only if we make the same amount of money? Because I was watching Angelica Ross kind of give her commentary on Laverne Cox. And they even said that I was pulling a Laverne trying to sell tickets. And I'm just like, ma'am, I'm just here. This is my first time meeting y'all. And if this is how you treat people when you first meet them, I'm talking about sisters in the community, sisters in the struggle, sisters that are out here that are advocates. But to who? Who are you advocating for? Those were going to be my questions. Are you advocating or you go hard when the cameras are on? I mean, this was just a YouTube show, but how do you act in your professional, situations? And it lets me know that not everybody's going to have the same heart or the same vision for the community as you. This is no secret. I mean, because being black first, I learned that we can be so critical of our people. We can be so judgmental of each other. Um, and it's like being trans and showing up as yourself. If you're trans, you know what that is. You know what it feels like, right? You know the struggle that comes along with it. I don't know why people forget the process. Like, oh, some families, yeah, they accept their people, but not everybody did. Some people have a different walk of life than you did. So while you're over here feeling cunt and feeling like the girl, like you're trying to shine on somebody that had to work a little bit harder, had to show up a little bit harder. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have those resources, so had to do something strange for a little change. You know what I'm saying? So nobody's better or greater than anybody. And with the money situation, money changes people. It definitely changes people. I don't care how many times people say, oh, money don't change me and this, that, and the third. It changes you. It changes your lifestyle. It changes a lot. Um, I want to say that when it comes to the money and the resources and things like that, when people start to look down on people, it makes me feel like, what about the other trans women who don't fit in that box? Should their voices be iced out? And I felt like that before. It's like, oh, these girls are over here and they didn't plastic up and down. And, it's like the mean girl squad, like, oh, you can't sit with us because now you're going to get us clocked and all this and that. But they have the money, they have the funds. If they didn't have the money and the funds, they would have been hanging with us. Hmm. So, should the girls that don't have that type of money, should their voices be silenced and iced out because they don't meet the quote unquote financial tier to engage? Let me just breathe and get myself together because I took some notes and I wanted to be spot on. I wanted to be calm. I wanted to be, to where you all just actually feel me and know exactly where I'm coming from. Um, this last week has been very challenging, but we accepted the challenge and we're still here. So this leads me into my next point. I just feel like when you live in a racist rut belt and, I called into a show looking for a sister to express, what it's like to survive in a racist city. I have a question. So my question is it okay for classism to blind others to your struggle? Shouldn't they hold a safe space for you to share your story? And my thing is, why is that? It's like, I don't know. It could be simple, but it's like, why is that? Why is it that somebody who's in the life, who's been through struggles, will want to make another person coming behind them want to make their life difficult or make a conversation difficult, not just be like step back and really hear what somebody has to say, because that person could probably give you that little nugget that you and your friend was talking about, could have fit right. You know what I'm saying? It's like helping each other. Community is everybody hands on, hands in. Let's get to it. It's not just you and me, and then we gotta just be separate from everybody else. No, it's everybody. Everybody voice, everybody opinion, everybody's input matters. And it's hurtful to go to a space and that's supposed to be the safe space lingo because they talk about it all the time. And then you get there and then your experience is, whoa, it's, the disrespect is real, you know? And then the laughing and the chatter and the being messy and the name calling. But this is supposed to be a show where people are supposed to feel safe on this topic. Now, if it was a messy show, I could get that. It's a messy show. But no, this was a strictly, let's talk about what's really happening out here and who's affected. And if y'all got something to say, call in. I called in. So what I'm trying to convey to you all is my so-called sisters turned into knockoff house mothers, judging me on superficial levels. It was like they were judging a category or a pageant or something, like a ball. It was like no judgment was supposed to have been there. Like, is no judgment, is let me hear your grievance. And I think those sisters, they really dropped the ball on that. Um, and only thing I ask those sisters to do is just give people a chance. When somebody comes, you say, hey, how can we help you? How can we serve you? How can we come up with a solution? Or have you come up with a solution already? How can we help? Why are you on a live broadcast inviting trans women out and then they can't help, and then when they talk, then you shut them down? Make it make sense. How many safe places do we have out here that allows that, to have that going on? I've tried to hold it, but the girls are scared to come out. So the reason why I'm so passionate about everything that's going on, even the interactions and, just trying to figure out how can we get moving forward, get the ball moving forward in the community. And this is with cisgender people. I mean, this is for everybody. Like, but really it was based on trans sisters having a place to come. But at this point, I'm just learning that, sometimes, not everybody's going to be on board, but keep going with my activism, keep going with speaking up about the situation and things like that, and just being more comfortable. And I feel like now I'm in a comfortable space. I have cleaned my area. Like, I'm able to think, I'm able to write down, I have a planner and things like that. So now I'm just able to like really focus and really draw in on the things that really matter. I wanted to say, under a fascist administration, some girls don't realize they're the reason we're stronger against outside forces, yet we tear each other down like this. And as trans women, it's like kind of like we're just in our own little box, because society and the presidency, the administration, they try to make it seem like we're just the scums of the earth. We're just, oh my God, just America's worst fear. When you have trans women sitting out here living their lives, educated, minding their business, paying their taxes and things like that, we are staying out the way. We don't want none of that foolishness. We just want to live our life and, like everybody else, the American dream. And I am just that. I am that American dream, like married, children, husband, children, home. Children are surviving and thriving. You know, we have survived so much. I mean, when you talk about the COVID, the pandemic and stuff, we survived all that. We're still here. We're still pushing. We're still loving. I don't understand why people make trans a big issue when some of these conservative leaders on their off times, allegedly, y'all can finish the rest. I want to make this live very clear, very direct, no interruptions, just strictly to you all so you can get where I'm coming from. I took time. I was going to respond the next day to the situation, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to respond. I need to sit back. I need to think this through, because when I convey my message to these sisters, they didn't understand where I was coming from at the time. So, keyword time. Let time pass and then discuss it, because those sisters might see this video and might say, hey, you know what, maybe I did overreact, or maybe, dang, I didn't give sis an opportunity to expound on what she meant by this. Sometimes it's a simple misinterpretation, misunderstanding, something small. And I'm here to say that I want to continue to be of service, whether it's, on panels or conversations with you or not, or in the, if we're out in the streets or in the publics and things like that. Just know this is what I'm standing for. This is what I'm pushing. I don't have to know a sister online or out in the store to be able to say, sister, I understand that. And sister, we're fighting for, we're fighting for each other. We're fighting for our rights. Because if I'm affected, you affected. If you affected, then I'm affected. And so it's not just, oh, it just happened to you. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make this just a direct video where everyone gets it. All right. So on this broadcast, and I'm going to show a clip right quick, but at one point they debated if I faced a racist, they debated if faced a racist head on, I was the type of girl who would be called the N-word, while they were the type who'd get treated with respect, as if earning respect from a racist is something anyone should want. I want to point this out because look at Candace Owens. Candace Owens had an audience, and don't tell me that it wasn't under them up in there, right? But you don't know what I would be called, and I would not be called the N-word. And even if I was called the N-word, am I that? Look up the definition. Am I that? Is something going on? What would trigger for me is something going on. He's got the problem. His misinformation. If this person is a grown person, they didn't live life, they didn't see plenty of black and all shades and colors of people, that is their problem. Racism is taught. I would stand up for myself. I would definitely feed the facts. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm here. It is what it is. And nothing's going to change anything. I'm Black, trans, and proud. Very proud of my walk because it's not about who I am. And a lot of people, they miss that part. If y'all would go back to the basis of life, go back to loving and caring and being a neighbor, going back to the Bible, because it seems like everybody is running to the net with their problems. Don't tell me, go tell Jesus, go complain, go give it to Jesus. If y'all would give it to Jesus, I'm telling you, because he did it for me. Give it to him. Those that wronged you, that did you wrong, all this racist I encountered, pray for them. Pray for them. Keep your distance and watch God work. So my last point was I wanted to affirm this. And let me have a sip of water. I wanted to affirm this. If Candace Owens stepped out of her MAGA drag and diamonds, she'd still be called the N-word by racists. Just like you would be on your best presenting day. Catch that. To the young lady that, wanted to make that a whole situation. I'm trying to keep it cute and try to keep it demure. So I'm giving my commentary, and let me go ahead and play this this article from you all just to kind of give you like a context of who these women are. So this clip right here is going to be let's see. It was a lot. It was a lot. So let's take a listen. We'll be right back.
I was booked to be here. Okay.
Yes.
We're not just sitting in the
Right.
cafeteria talking.
Aaron's name was on the
Yeah.
actual show notes to come in, and that we were going to be
But
specifically talking about
also,
this.
I just want to dispel something that she mentioned. We are not all sisters. I don't know you from a can of paint. And I think it's okay for us to say we don't know each other from a can of paint. And there was a lot that can be assumed when we don't ask clarifying questions. I wasn't
Absolutely.
aware that there was any issue. Um, oh, okay, it's the Queen Tulsa show. Okay, so she giving Laverne, she trying to sell tickets. And
Now, see, the girls are saying that I'm giving Laverne. You know how had taken that statement? I said, well, let me go ahead and, like class up a little bit more. Class up a little bit more because I was there to give voice to the voiceless and to speak about, the things that are going on in my racist city. And I was sharing the experience with you and Angelica about the DMV situation. And y'all just kind of like just swoop that right on over. But you said that we're not sisters, but these are women out here saying that they're advocating for trans women. And she simply just admitted, and Angelica's over here clocking it up, clapping it up with her. Like, yeah, girl, we all ain't sisters and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Norris Tony, how are you doing? So listen here, I just wanted to speak on this. I didn't want to make a big kaboom. I didn't want to make a big loud noise about it. Hopefully these ladies will see it. I'm going to clip it. I'm going to send it to them. And ladies, if you would like to have a discussion going forward or maybe hash this out, just reach out to me and let me know. I'm here for the conversation. I feel like I need to be heard. as well as you all need to be heard. And I feel like us and our differences could really get the ball running, you know, because our differences, we're not always going to agree, but we can also come together to create a solution for, the future. So thank you all for watching and listening. I'll see you on the next broadcast. So long.